So let's take a quick look at output parameters. It's typical to have methods return classes if you need to return multiple points of data. But another option you can use is output parameters. Output parameters are just like other types of parameters, except they have the out keyword before them. What this means is that you can't pass in a parameter, but you have to provide an empty variable that's going to be reassigned in the method. So let's run this and take a look at what happens. We declare two variables, name and gender. They are null. We're going to call the method getData with the output parameter that's going to put data into name and an output parameter that's going to put data into gender. When we step into this method, we're going to print out enter your name. Let's make some room here. So it prints enter your name, and then we're going to read in the name from the console. And then it's going to print out enter your gender. We're going to read in that from the console. And as soon as we leave this method, because these are output parameters, it's going to pass that data out to these variables. So now you can see that name and gender have Eric and male. The most common place you see output parameters is in a method called tryparse. And I've demonstrated this in the getAge method. So let's drill into this. Here, I want to keep the user inside a loop until they enter a valid integer. So I have a loop control variable that's going to be set to false. I have an integer representing the number that's going to be returned. We're going to start that off as 0. And then I say, while not valid, enter your age. And this statement here is a member of the int class, int.tryparse. Earlier in the course we looked at parse, and we said one of the things about parse is that if I enter a string and I try to parse it to an integer, it's going to throw an error. We don't like errors. They crash programs. They make users unhappy. So tryparse, no matter what I pass in here, is not going to throw an error. What it's going to do is return true or false. True if what gets passed in can be converted to integer. False if it can't be converted. The second parameter is an output parameter. This parameter has to be an integer variable, so number is going to get passed in there. If whatever we pass in as the first parameter, string, can be converted to an integer, it will put it in as the number and pass it out. So now we have a method that returns a Boolean and populates a value for us. So let's go ahead and run this step. The console read line is going to run first, and it's going to be passed into the int_parse method. Let's type banana. Immediately it drops to the else statement because tryparse failed. And it's going to print out that's not an integer. It's going to throw us back up to the top of the loop, and it's going to prompt us again for our age. This time I'm going to enter 21. I wish I was 21. I'm not. 21 string was successfully converted by the tryparse method, and you notice that the number variable now has the value 21 because it came as an output parameter. Now we can set valid to true. We're going to fall out of the while loop and return that number, and then we can print out our results. And that's really all there is to output parameters. They're not very common, but that's how they're used.